So aftermath, after you had time to decompress, I mean, you went through more adventures in those 2 years than most will have in a lifetime. Not that war is great and everything, but in some ways, could that have been the highlight of your life? I mean, how do you go on after that? There's so many emotional highs and lows and death-defying escapades.
Number one, I went, well, okay, at the end of the liberation of France, you know, so Pearl say, you stay in the British Army, or because I was second lieutenant, is that the word in English? Yeah, you know, lieutenant.
Right.
She say, do you want to come with us in England or what? And I say, I'm French. I don't want to go to England. I love you very much, but I stay with the French army. And so they put me back in the French army, and I stay in the French army for 1 year and a half.
You're in the official French army now?
Yeah, because the General de Gaulle say all officers cannot be demobilized. They have to stay in the army. So I stayed for and I had 1 day of work in one day of work.
Not a bad job. You were hanging out in Paris doing this?
I have been the town officer for 1 day. That was my only job in 1 year and a half.
Where was this, in Paris or down?
No, it was in Châteauroux. And I goofed it.
How did you goof it?
So because they give me a nice desk in a barracks, you know, with a telephone. If something happens, you're in charge of the town, you're in charge of the whole thing. And at lunchtime, there was just a little bistro across the street. I said, come on, nothing will happen. I'm going to have a little something in it. So I went with it, and I came back. And just the time, it's always the same thing, the time I was in that bistro, an American convoy came in, asking information, and asking all that, and there was nobody to answer them. The colonel, the next morning, what I heard...
Hey, there was no one else who give direction? How are you supposed to know?
You cannot imagine.
How are you supposed to know?
No, but you know, it's no luck. I was about 20 minutes out of my desk, and during those 20 minutes, they came in.
So they sack you for that. What do you do for the rest of the year?
No. They forget it. Oh. They said nothing at all. So I became for 1 year one of the resistance, chef of the resistance, has created a small paper, weekly paper, called the Bazooka. And it was a 25,000 every week.
Wow, serious circulation.
Yeah. So
what was the job? To disseminate information, talk about what happened in Germany, world news?
The Bazooka was just about the war, about the rest of the war, the end of the war, the this,
where to
the
find
that,
food,
whatever. So, and he told me, I'm obliged to go. You take the paper. Take the paper. So I took the paper, my dear. I was the publisher of the paper, and I was publishing every Wednesday at midnight on the press, on the machines. There was a daily paper, 30,000, the Dépêche du Berry or a name like that. So they had all the machines, you know. It was a real printing press. So every Wednesday at midnight, I could have the machine, and I was printing my little magazine, if you want. And one night, the same thing. The newspaper had been taken over by a group of resistance, I don't know which one. And it was a resistant who was the boss, who was the big boss of the newspaper. And one night he said, hey, Michel, I'm obliged to go, take the paper. 30,000 daily. I was 22 years old. I said, forget it. Forget it. I don't want. And you know, it would have been a disaster in my life. Maybe I would have been successful, but I didn't want to go into that, you know, no way.